The following is an exclusive presentation of Raycom Sports and Jefferson Pilot Sports.
March Madness came early to the ACC. Saturday, North Carolina senior Ademola Okulaja cans this three-pointer in the final seconds to beat Virginia by 1. And not soon after that, Wake Forest freshman Broderick Hicks scored 15 in the second half to lead the Deacons to a come-from-behind win over Florida State. The Deacs are hanging on to NCAA tournament hopes, but they'll have to win tonight at Chapel Hill, a place where they've won only once since 1982. Wake Forest and Carolina next. The final week of the 1999 ACC regular season begins at the Smith Center in Chapel Hill as the Wake Forest Demon Deacons battle the 14th-ranked Tar Heels of the University of North Carolina. Good evening, everybody. With Billy Packer, Bob Rathman welcoming you to ACC Hoops tonight. And, Billy, as we come into this game for the Tar Heels, they're looking to improve their seed. Wake just looking to get in. This is as close to a must-win situation for Wake as you can get in the regular season.
Well, they do create their own destiny. A win against North Carolina here, I think, puts them in the NCAA tournament. If not, they've got to look forward to Saturday against NC State, two teams that would really be on the bubble in that case. I think in North Carolina, you're right. They're either a 2 or a 3 seed. To keep winning, that puts them in a 2 spot, which they'd love to have.
Let's take a look at the keys for tonight's game. The Deacons were out-rebounded by 21 when Carolina won in Winston-Salem. The North Carolina size a big factor.
It really is a factor, and they're handling it very well rebounding-wise. They lead the conference, number 2 in all the nation. Terrific team off the boards.
And for Carolina, that rebounding advantage won't do them much good if they continue to turn it over.
Well, not only turning it over, as was shown in the Virginia game, you turn it over and you create an offense for the other team's defense, and that's something they can ill afford if they're going to continue to win.
All right, sir. We'll check the starting lineups and have the opening tip when we come back after this.
ACC basketball is being brought to you by Nations Bank, by Bell South, by Michelob, by Advance Auto Parts, by Pepsi, by your Carolina Jeep dealers, and by Nationwide Insurance.
North Carolina 11-1 at home this season. The only defeat against the Maryland Terrapins. They host Wake Forest tonight, and Dave Odom lines them up this way with Craig Dawson, Antoine Scott, Rafael Vitoretta up front, Robert O'Kelly and Urban Murray in the Deacon backcourts. For the Tar Heels, 21-7 overall. They've clinched third at 9-5 in the conference. And a change, Brian Versticker will start at center tonight for Brendan Haywood. Versticker in there because Haywood was late for the team meal this evening. Bill Guthridge on the threshold of history. Chance to win more games than any other coach in NCAA history his first 2 years if he can win tonight. Dave Odom, 6-17 lifetime against the Heels. And only one victory for Wake Forest in this building all time. The opening tip goes to Scott, and we're underway.
The tap man always has the opportunity to get possession of the ball if it touches one other player.
Dawson missing, and the rebound to Capel. Dawson, noted outside marksman, cold of late. He's now 1 of his last 7 from three-point range.
Coming off that big game against Clemson, where he won it for the Deacs.
Hit 4 out of 5 that night against the Tigers. Cota in and out with the 3. But the rebound off the hands of Antoine Scott and out of bounds. Scott, 1 of 3 North Carolinians in the Wake lineup. Greg Dawson from Kinston, Urban Murray from Teachey, and Antoine Scott from New Bern. And I've always thought, Billy, a thrill for those kids to come in and play in this building. They grew up watching the Heels, as did all the youngsters in the state. Here's O'Kelly. Turnover. Versticker picks it up.
Scott actually created his own turnover by going into Lang's arm. Really handled the ball easily in the low post.
Lang in on Scott. The tip no good by Versticker, and here come the Deacs. Still scoreless. We've played just over a minute.
Ball going into the low post very easily for Wake Forest. They can get an offense just by getting the ball down the low post and somebody moving.
Ed Cota. Capel with the shovel underneath. The first sticker puts it in.
How many times we've seen this young man given playing opportunity, very smooth down along the baseline with that jump shot.
He's shooting almost 50% from the field. And impressive numbers if you in minutes per game.
Notice how the ball gets into Scott very easily. Now, North Carolina, I'm sure, is saying, wait a second, until he proves he can score with that ball in the low post, we're going to let him handle it. But just because he handles it doesn't mean he just has to score. If guys were cutting off him, he'd have an opportunity to make some good assists there.
Capel spins into the lane. And Murray.
Pretty good matchup, Murray and Capel, as far as size is concerned.
Murray at 6'5". Capel a little taller at 6'8". Murray to Vitoretta. Gets the shot off, and it rolls in.
Wake Forest getting an awful lot of easy low post action in this ball game early on. Haywood, of course, on that bench, as you mentioned, ready to get to the meal on time. Doesn't look like he missed many meals this year. You know, if you're gonna eat them, you might as well get there on time so you can play. Maybe he's getting ready for the NBA, trying to figure out what he can do wrong so he fits right in. Some of those guys you normally cover.
First sticker, and that one's short. The Deeks are hanging in there on the glass. We talked about the rebounding, Billy.
I think the reason for that is North Carolina really standing still, and there's O'Kelly, one of the best pure range shooters in the conference.
O'Kelly, that's his 71st three-pointer of the season. 38% marksman from three-point range.
Wake Forest picking up a 1-2-2 full court pressure, then dropping back down inside with a little matchup zone.
The reverse is short.
But notice how North Carolina just standing and watching. Everybody shoots, nobody going to the boards at all.
O'Kelly feeling it. Another three. And it was Cota's defense on O'Kelly and Winston-Salem that helped Carolina win that game. 8-2 Deeks.
You know, Wake Forest, when you look back the last 3 times they played North Carolina, they've had big first halves and then just went to sleep in the second half. It looks like this is kind of a repeat performance here. There's the zone, Wake Forest on the matchup. North Carolina not getting a lot of movement, even to see what Wake Forest doing against them defensively. There's so little movement that the Wake Forest defensive players just standing still.
When the defense is in rebounding position, you're going to get all the defensive rebounds. O'Kelly into the lane.
And caught on a switch. Okulaja on O'Kelly. O'Kelly would like to keep it that way.
Vitoretta jumps in. Short. First sticker clears.
Lang getting out on the break very well. See if he gets paid off. There he is. Nice job by Lang.
And the foul.
That young man loves to run the break and does it extremely well. Moves from offense to defense, defense to offense. Great transition player for a young guy. And it paid off for him. Cota will find you if you get in position.
Brendan Haywood, the first substitute. First sticker goes out.
Well, we had him when he sat down and didn't get a chance to start against NC State and played extremely well when he came into that ball game. That time it was not because of failure to get to any place on time. It's the failure to work hard in practice. So he's had 2 non-starts because of discipline and 1 because he didn't play well in practice.
3-point play by Lang. 8-5 Wake Forest. Wake Forest leads North Carolina by 3. In the first game in Winston, Carolina won 52-40. The lowest point total by Wake Forest against North Carolina since 1959. And Wake, incredibly in that game, had a lead at halftime. 24-22.
Carolina shot 57% in the second half, almost exactly the same thing that happened last year here at Carolina. The Tar Heels shot 59% in the second half after being behind at halftime. You know, one thing about this North Carolina team, I don't see any sense of urgency when they play. You know, it's almost like they let each possession, well, we'll get you next time, we'll get you next time. There needs to be not only passion for the game by this team, but a sense of urgency. Hey, we've got to get it done now.
North Carolina, two stats jump out at you. One, they're last in the conference in steals, which might be a hint toward the aggressive defensive nature. And two, more turnovers than assists. I wonder if that's ever happened for an entire season at Chapel Hill.
I doubt it very seriously. Put it off on a break again.
Songaila come up with a loose ball. Deeks get another crack at it. Up 10-5.
Good job by Hicks coming in off this bench here. Slow things down.
Coming off a tremendous second half against Florida State on Saturday. Into Songaila. Spins, shoots, misses. That went off his teammate out of bounds.
Well, Haywood hit that ball down, but Songaila was laying, Vetteretta was laying out of bounds when the ball hit him, so that's why it's Tar Heel ball. Wake Forest is showing a little phantom pressure here. Maybe trying to get him to turn that ball over, kind of like at the Virginia game, but there's just not enough full court pressure to create the turnover. And then they drop back into that matchup zone, 1-2-2. Really packing it back in there, saying to Carolina, let's see you shoot a ball from the outside.
And Eptimov on the back, picks up the foul. First on Vasco.
A lot of wide open three-point shot looks available there for North Carolina.
Joseph Amonette, the senior from Bridgetown, Tennessee, is in. Greg Dawson goes out. 10-5, Wake Forest.
North Carolina backed way down inside now defensively in a zone of their own. Kelly like to find himself an open spot. Here he comes, and he's got it.
Amonette has a look. And Eptimov rebound.
Pretty good blocking out by North Carolina in that zone. But a wide open look there.
Amonette has struggled with his outside shot in the senior season. Okulaja lost the dribble, and Amonette comes up with the ball. Cota chasing him, and Amonette lays it in.
Again, I talk about that lack of urgency that North Carolina's team is not showing. Wait and patiently stay in the zone until they see North Carolina make some outside shots.
And speaking of Wake, Billy, I think the opposite is true. Wake is playing with a sense of urgency.
See, Eptimov had a shot that time where he had the ball, nobody guarding him, and he wasn't more than a foot beyond the foul line. That's a wide open 16-foot jump shot looking for somebody to pass to. How about the rim? Just shoot it.
Haywood with the foul. Gives Wake Forest the basketball. Deeks have won 4 of their last 6.
And remember, this is an extremely young team on the floor for Wake Forest, so they keep getting confidence with each minute that goes by here.
Amonette pounds it in. Songaila takes Haywood deep into the post, but couldn't shoot over him.
He's been getting a lot of body on those shots.
Ronald Curry in for Carolina. Okulaja now to Ed Cota. A little more movement now for the Tar Heels. Eptimov off his hands and out of bounds.
Not what Bill Guthridge wants to see from his basketball team.
2 games for you coming up on Saturday. The first at 1:30, Maryland travels to Florida State. And then at 8 o'clock, it's Duke here in Chapel Hill to meet the Tar Heels. 9 miles between them. Neighbors, yes, but not so friendly. The Blue Devils looking to run the table in the ACC. Their last obstacle in the conference, the Tar Heels. And that will be Saturday night at 8. And we've got a whistle on Songaila underneath as he was battling for position with Haywood.
Now, Songaila, just a freshman, but with a lot of potential, has got to realize he's playing against a guy and giving up about 3 or 4 inches. He's got to use his quickness instead of going in there and trying to power against Haywood. Here's Wake again, showing a little zone pressure, and then drop back into a zone that puts everybody inside the foul line.
You sound like you need some tepid water. Here's Cota. 12-5, Wake Forest. Okulaja for 3. Spins it in.
This young man, he's really been solid this year in every phase. You know, he's leading them from the outside. He's leading them from rebounding, scoring.
Second in the conference in three-point percentage. O'Kelly driving.
Tough shot. Good rebound.
Okulaja went down with the ball. but no travel. Cota. Now Adi shovels on an 8th and a foul. Sangaila's second.
Now there's the first burst of energy we've seen, and Okulaja should set the tables. He's a senior out there, but that's the way a team has to play that's supposed to be the 13th or 14th best team in the country, and with an opportunity to be a second or third seeded club. Good pump fake. Nice dish inside, a good power move.
Lang with 4. Vitoretta comes in. Darius to the bench with 2 fouls. Except for the Florida State game, he has lived in foul trouble this season.
This year he came into this game with 99 personal fouls on the year, so now he's got 101 personal fouls and is fouled out of 6 games.
12-10 Deeks and a timeout in Chapel Hill. Wake Forest leading by 2, and Billy O'Kelly going to have a long night with Cota in his shirt.
Well, Cota picking up the intensity a little bit on that particular occasion. Now watch it. Okulaja, the reason he wasn't called for traveling there is because he never had possession of the ball on the way down. Once he got down, he gained possession. Now, obviously, he couldn't get up from there, but he didn't take the ball down with him.
12-10.
Full court pressure by North Carolina. You don't see this very often.
When they spring it, it's usually out of a timeout.
They've got Haywood all the way back. Nobody guarding the man taking the ball out of bounds.
Nine minutes into the proceedings.
Now a change on defense. It's Curry on O'Kelly. North Carolina man-to-man. They've shown the zone and the man-to-man here in this first half. Good flare move by O'Kelly trying to get the jumper.
Shot clock at 11. Vitoretta all the way to the basket.
Haywood came out and didn't protect himself at all on that, and Vitoretta did a good job recognizing, going right by him.
14-10. Deacons on. Out in front. Here's Cota directing traffic. Curry for 3.
He will take the shot. He just doesn't make many of them from out there and has never really gotten into basketball shape here.
In this building, he's 2 for 17 from three-point range.
As I said, he'll take them. He just doesn't make them. You hear a lot of coaches say, I'm not looking for shooters, I'm looking for makers.
Exactly.
But in fairness to him, you know, the shots are there. Wake Forest has that zone packed way in. It should be Cota and some of these other fellows looking for that open jumper.
Shot clock down to 5. Dawson.
Nice block out by Lang. Ed Cota has not tried to penetrate this matchup zone with his dribble. I expect we'll see that here shortly. Okulaja has. There's the dribble right there.
And Cota too strong, but crashing is Kris Lang.
Good move by Cota. Now, when a team matchup zones against you, a lot of times it's kind of a phantom. You've got to go ahead and test them a little bit by putting that ball on the floor and driving through, as Cota did there. Opened up a good opportunity for a teammate.
O'Kelly, a little wide, and Lang another rebound. His third of the game to go with 7 points. Lead too long for Haywood.
Haywood is really not the quickest guy in the world and didn't have his feet set. Here we see Cota on the drive. Even though he doesn't make the shot, look at the opportunity it sets up for Lang, and Haywood was right behind him. So they really had 2 guys that could have put that away.
When you defend Billy out of the matchup, and a guy like Cota will slice from the wing toward the goal, unlike a straight zone, you've got to have somebody with man-to-man responsibility to cover the cutter.
Well, absolutely, and that's why it's pretty hard to have good block-out situation in case he slashes through as he did there and puts the shot up.
Capel.
Defense changes to man-to-man now by Wake Forest.
And a blocking foul on the Deeks, and it's on O'Kelly. Roberts first.
With Curry out there, probably you look back, and the game that Cota missed against Georgia Tech was Curry's outing to start, play well, and had his best statistical game.
Stay tuned at halftime for Bell South. You call the play feature. Look at big plays from past ACC games.
Here's Wake, straight man-to-man now.
Irvine can tie with a 2, lead with a 3.
Haywood out of the ball game. They figure that they can play Bursticker man-to-man down the low post. North Carolina throws it away again.
6 turnovers for the Tar Heels.
The last time Wake Forest won in this building, Randolph Childress, as he did in the ACC tournament with that sensational play in that overtime win where he hit the big shot, he was the key to the game, he and Tim Duncan. Wake does not have a player matching either one of those on this squad, however.
Vitoretta, he has been the Deacs' savior inside the last couple of months. He's 4 out of 5 tonight, 8 points. Lang outside. Bursticker looking.
Nobody on this squad that's on the floor right now looking at all for the outside shot.
And Capel mishandled it. Bursticker, and they throw it away again. 7:41 to go in the first half. The Deacons lead by 4 despite some great play inside from Kris Lang of the Tar Heels. Our ACC Scholar Athlete of the Week is guard forward Brad Frederick of the University of North Carolina, the senior from Lawrence, Kansas, with a 3.51 GPA in political science and history. Congratulations to Brad Frederick, our ACC Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Another man down on that bench, Phil Ford, just raised his head up to the sky and then with both hands put him over his face to say, what in the world is going on here? A guy that always came with a sense of urgency when he donned the uniform.
His guards are 0 for 5. Cota 0 for 2, Capel 0 for 2, Curry 0 for 1. Wake shooting 39%. Tar Heels 27%.
And a team that normally shoots 47% of the year. No block out inside.
But Carolina comes up with the ball as Murray could not finish.
Murray used to be an outside on the perimeter. Had a wide open, easy putback there.
Okulaja wide open. 16-15.
Really a breakdown by Wake Forest on that half-court sequence because Okulaja is the one guy that will look to put it up.
Scott. He's got plenty of room, too.
But that leaves a one and done for Wake Forest that really has their hands full on the offensive boards. They were getting some early in the ball game when North Carolina just wasn't moving to the ball, but with that size differential there, Wake really having problems.
Cut by Capel. He'll shoot 2.
Capel was sat down with mononucleosis and lost almost 2 weeks. And not only that, but with that particular illness, you have a hard time getting the energy to start practicing even when you can come back. So it will take him a while to be back to 100%.
He missed 7 games, but his shooting has been inconsistent here the last couple of games. He had a good game against Duke. Then at Virginia, just 2 for 8 from the field on Saturday in Charlottesville.
Again, an awful lot of conditioning has to do with your shooting ability. Even though you're not playing a lot of minutes. It's a lot different than standing, shooting around, and then getting into game shots where you really have to move and shoot at 100%, and he's just not ready for it.
Wake has not yet been to the line. Capel second in the ACC in free throw percentage and missed it. No, Kelly comes up with it, and a 2-on-1 coming the other way. Pull up for Roberts. No good.
Well, Murray didn't give him a passing lane, so that was about the only option he had was to pull up and take a jump shot. One that he'd normally hit. He likes that shot going straight to the basket.
Tied at 16. Another Carolina turnover. That's 8.
And just as we said at the top of the show, the one way to neutralize the lack of rebounding is get the other team to turn it over. And Carolina's playing right into Wake's hands there. Kelly shoving off, try to get rid of Cota, who's been really on him.
Three-pointer, no good by Murray. Okulaja attacking for the Tar Heels. And the hook goes. Boy, Lang continues to impress.
He really has that half hook down. Loves the post in on the inside. Could will hit you in the low post. North Carolina, despite the way they're playing, takes the 2-point lead in that. Not the first time they've been up since very early in the ballgame.
Murray to O'Kelly, inside to Vittoretta. O'Kelly draws the foul, and he'll shoot two. He got Cota up in the air with a good fake.
Well, Cota's been really staying with O'Kelly, so it was a very smart play of O'Kelly to get him in the air and then not even worry about whether or not he had a good percentage shot, but to draw it for the foul.
Fans, look inside your Pepsi or Mountain Dew 12-pack from Food Line to see if your number matches either number on the screen. If so, you win a $500 Food Line gift certificate. 73% foul shooter, and O'Kelly misses.
Kelly was just 4 for 12 against North Carolina in the game earlier this year. But last year, he lit it up with 25. He made 7 threes over in Winston-Salem against North Carolina when Wake built up the big lead, but couldn't hold it in the second half.
Bill, you mentioned that game in Winston-Salem back in January. Bill Guffridge said that was the best defensive game that Ed Cota has played as a Tar Heel. O'Kelly was 7. And the Deeks are down 1.
And they go back to that 1-2-2 full court, kind of like a phantom press a little bit, just trying to get North Carolina occupy some time so they can't punch it down and low. Notice Wake Forest plays the matchup zone most of the time when Haywood's in the game. Go back to man when he's out of there.
And misses. Vittoretta rebounds.
Giving up a lot of size. Vittoretta's doing a nice job on the boards.
Look at O'Kelly right to the basket. Yes. And puts it home. He made up his mind at the other end he was going to take it to the rim, and he did it all the way.
He waved to you, Bob, going right by. Said, hey, I'm taking this the next 45 feet right to the basket. Here he goes. He saw the opening. Everybody, look at that Lang with his back turned. North Carolina players not ready defensively at all on that play.
Heads up by O'Kelly. He recognized that early on.
Last year's ACC Freshman of the Year. It'd be quite a race this year for Freshman of the Year in the league.
A lot of great candidates. 10 for O'Kelly. And Murray comes in.
Now he's going to take a rest. Now Wake Forest got a problem right now. Where do they get some points from while he sits on the bench? A tough stretch here. 4:38 to go. Dave Odom knows he's got to rest him.
But Dave also knows he's got the TV timeout coming in 30 seconds. So maybe it's just a possession or two, the blow during the timeout, and then get him back in.
I would agree. I think he can only go with him sitting down maybe at 2 minutes.
Vittoretta takes the Okulaja miss and clears. 6 rebounds for Raphael. 2018 Wake.
If you're Wake Forest right now, you want to take a little time off the clock, not a quick shot.
Vittoretta uses the glass to score. Impressive first half for Vittoretta.
Solid game by Raphael. And that was a cheap basket for Wake Forest to get without O'Kelly on the floor. Come and go, come and go. Wake still matching up. Really packing back down inside.
22-18 Wake. Shot clock under 10. Capel, the bomb, short. And it's going to go. Amonette with a body block to get Lang out of the way. Chris can't believe it wasn't a whistle. And we've got a timeout. 3:31 left in the first half. Robert O'Kelly goes from Manio to Murphy all the way to the bucket of the Deeks lead by 4.
Well, we've seen outstanding play offensively from 2 players from Wake Forest, Vittoretta and O'Kelly. Here's Vittoretta. Look at North Carolina giving him the wide open shot. He wisely puts it softly off the glass. Young guy that's playing really well. When you look at his stats this year, shooting 52% from the floor, a little over 7 points a game, 6.5 rebounds a game. Just a solid performance.
And in the ACC, Vittoretta shooting 62% from the floor and 76% from the line. That's outstanding.
There's Dave Odom using that TV timeout, as you mentioned, Bob, wisely. So O'Kelly gets to sit a couple of minutes and not merit many minutes off the actual playing clock.
Josh Shoemaker gets rid of it. Dawson to Hicks for 3. Got it.
Good job by both Dawson and Hicks. Hicks realized find an open spot with that loose ball. North Carolina faithful getting a little nervous right here with their basketball team. And it was very obvious right at the first couple of minutes of the game that the team did not come out here with that sense of urgency and passion that you want to see a basketball team have. So Haywood, a cheap foul inside.
And the second time that he's been caught off the ball.
He's got so much size. All he needs to do is to take his time and get inside. Now there he uses that elbow. Vittoretta with a little acting job gets by with it.
25-18 Deeks.
O'Kelly sees the zone defense. Going to look for a hole here. 3-guard offense for Wake Forest, so one of them ought to be able to get open.
Deeks have scored 9 unanswered.
There it
Looking
is.
for more. Dawson, no good. And Vittoretta on the back of Haywood.
The Wake Forest got what they wanted. They're using a 3-guard set out there, and Dawson had the wide open jumper. You can see how foul trouble by Sengia really puts Dave Odom in a tough spot, because he can't afford to have him pick up his 3rd foul here in the first half. So he's got one of his leading scorers, who has been playing very well of late, sitting on that bench for a long period of this first half.
Haywood, Dakota. They go back inside. Haywood's hook. Rebound to Shoemaker.
Pushed Eftemoff right under the basket and out of the play.
Scott shoots over Haywood. Too long.
Well, Scott's not bashful. He had the wide open shot from the outside. That one he had a good look at the basket, just overshot it.
And a foul inside. Shoemaker guarding Haywood. It's his first.
You know, when you look at the measurements of players in this league, and you see people come in listed at 6'10", and then you see Haywood, and then you look out on the floor, he actually has about 4 or 5 inches over almost everybody in the league. The young man is huge.
Curry and Lang for Eftemoff and Capel. The Tar Heels make changes. Haywood, a 68% foul shooter, has a 1-and-1. Brendan has not scored tonight.
See, Wake Forest lists Shoemaker at 6'9", and Lang probably has him by 1.5 inches, and Haywood probably has him by about what looks like about 4 inches.
Brendan's second shot.
And Kelly was in the lane. Way too soon. Haywood's going to get another one.
Potentially cost Wake a point. They had the ball on the rebound.
Better be careful here on the missed shot. North Carolina had 2 good offensive rebounders in Lang and Okulaja charging in there.
25-20.
Well, nothing new. Wake Forest with the lead on Carolina in the first half.
Dawson for 3. Boy, if you tell the Tar Heel fans there's a guy in the house playing basketball from Kinston and wearing number 42, they'd say, hey, Jerry's back.
He's related.
He is Jerry Stackhouse' nephew. 28-20 Wake Forest. Inside, the big tomahawk slam for Haywood.
As Scott slipped on that play, and Haywood didn't need much room. And here they are, giving Shoemaker all kinds of space out there to take his jump shot.
And Wake will take a 20-second timeout. Deeks will have 21 seconds on the shot clock, 58 seconds left in the half. Nations Bank, a corporate partner of the ACC, presents this Salute to Excellence question. North Carolina assistant Phil Ford and Clemson assistant Darren Tillis are 2 of the 3 current ACC assistant coaches to have been selected in the first round of the NBA draft. Who is the 3rd? Stay tuned. We'll have the answer for you before the end of the game. 58 seconds left. Wake 28-22. As we pointed out, the Deeks have won only once in the Smith Center. Randolph Childress and Tim Duncan leading Wake Forest to a 79-70 win. And a man who was inspired by Childress's play, Robert O'Kelly, handles it out front now for Wake Forest.
18 seconds, so there's plenty of time here for North Carolina to get possession. Wake goes against the zone, going to run O'Kelly to the corner. Here he comes with a solid screen.
To the baseline, and Dawson shuffled his feet.
Well, a good job by Dave Odom in regard to setting up what he wanted there, the solid screen for O'Kelly. But Scott wasn't ready on that switch to take the ball on the baseline. Cota was looking to fire inside to Okulaja. I still think that Cota ought to put the ball on the floor and drive against this matchup zone. He's been too patient to stay out on the perimeter.
Shot clock at 12. Haywood at the line, back to Curry, outside Cota for 3. Rebound to the Deeks, 10 seconds to go in the half.
Will Kelly put his head down and bury it again?
He'll take the 3 and hit it right over the outstretched hands of Curry.
Beautiful follow through on the shot.
And that is the end of the first half.
Boy,
Wake Forest opens up a 9-point lead.
That wrist motion took that ball from 25 feet right into the basket. Just perfect form on the shot.
O'Kelly with confidence, and the Deeks head to the locker room with a big lead.
For young players, watch the follow through on this jump shot. This is exactly the way you want to extend. We don't see it all the way there, but there's no question about where it went, right down.
Right to the bottom of the sack, as Joe Dean would say. 31-22, Wake Forest leading North Carolina at the end of the half.
ACC basketball is brought to you by Nationwide Insurance, by Virginia Power, by Amoco, by Briggs & Stratton, and by Advance Auto Parts.
The Tar Heels have dug themselves a 9-point hole, Billy, but they do have history on their side.
Well, certainly recent history. Wake Forest has been in this position the last 3 basketball games, but in 2 of them, as an example, in one game they shot 6 for 25 in the second half. North Carolina shot 59%. And in the other one, this year, Wake Forest only scored 16 points in the second half, 22% shooting. North Carolina went on a tear, shooting 54% and won the game in the second half.
North Carolina, though, will need a rally in the second half, much like they pulled off against Purdue earlier this season. Cota to the glass. The tip is good.
And there's penetration with the dribble. We saw it one time in the first half, something he starts off right here in the beginning of the second half.
Off the chalkboard and onto the court for Bill Guthrie. Dawson for 3. Greg Dawson from long range.
Dawson and O'Kelly have beautiful form on their jump shots.
10-point lead for the Deeks.
That's Wake Forest, 6th three-pointer of the night. 6 for 12, not bad. Scott trying to fight off again. He's given up so much size and strength, and he doesn't want to get into an arm battle with Haywood there. He's got to lose that.
Second foul on Antoine. Ed Cota to play it in. And a foul on Vittoretta for a hold, I believe, against Haywood.
It really should have been a foul on Lang for setting an illegal screen. Lang takes and pushes his way. Now watch Lang. He pushes the way right. You can't do that. That's an illegal screen. Dave Odom's screaming you can't do that, and he's absolutely correct. But
Haywood puts it in.
Lang just, created, and Dave Odom's going crazy, and I don't believe him. I don't blame him, rather. Excuse me.
Dawson out to Scott.
That's Scott's 3rd wide-open shot that he took. Good decision by Cota not to throw that ball to Haywood, who was really not in position.
O'Kelly off to the races. The pull-up 3, ribs in.
Boy, I'd like to see more players do that. You pull up and you take the wide-open 3 to hit it. Guys just don't have confidence in their jump shot, and Kelly obviously does.
Well, you hit a couple of those on the road, Billy. You've got to feel like the king of the world.
Oh, sure. And it's a wide-open shot. You've got good motion to the basket. Watch O'Kelly again. Now, Cota's got to realize it.
O'Kelly short on this one, but jumping in Murray to get it for the Deeks. O'Kelly wants it back.
Don't blame him. He has been blanketed by Cota defensively. He's not going to get better wide-open shots than he had there.
Cota knocks it away. Curry quickly into the North Carolina lineup. And Capel goes out. Craig Dawson, the trigger man for Wake Forest.
Good job by Murray to come meet the ball. Everybody else kind of standing still.
Boy, Dave didn't like what he saw. I think it was Scott who's going to get Sangaila in.
Right, he just didn't come to meet the ball. Murray bailed him out. Good backdoor cut.
And O'Kelly missed the lay-in.
Curry's so accustomed to seeing O'Kelly come back out for the jump shot, was caught off guard with a backdoor cut. Loretta trying to get in front of Haywood. He's really active down there with his feet.
Okulaja missing. Tip no. Haywood. Yes.
Now that was good blocking out by Wake Forest, but Haywood just so big.
37-28 Deeks. Carolina crowd starting to get into it.
Curry likes, I think, this challenge defensively against O'Kelly. He's really hawking him. Look at that, he beats him to a spot. Good defensive play by Curry.
So the Deeks go outside. Dawson misses the three. Rebound tapped out to Carolina.
You notice Wake Forest a little anxious now, not getting what they want offensively. A little quick to pull the trigger with the threes. There's Haywood moving those feet. There's good blocking out, but unfortunately for Wake Forest, Haywood just too big. Gets the lucky hop.
Dave Odom thought that ball was tapped out by the Tar Heels. Had something to say to the officials. Carolina ball with Cota.
Haywood really getting active inside.
Curry just took it where you just can't go, and it's a turnover.
Well, Curry better spend most of his time here working on his defense.
O'Kelly to Vitoretta for three. And it's going to pop out. Rebound to Lang.
Wake Forest getting out of their offense right now. The last three occasions down the floor with O'Kelly hitting that jumper on the break, they've gone strictly to shots from the outside. Not being patient with this lead.
Haywood inside. But nothing Vitoretta can do. He gets it that low on the block.
Well, Vitoretta did the right thing. O'Kelly didn't get down there quick enough for the double team. Good comeback by North Carolina underway here.
O'Kelly to Murray. The scoop shot, no. The tip, no. And Curry has it.
Haywood asked you to sit down right now. He's tired, but he's been working hard inside in that low post. Now Lang fighting for position.
Cota starts the offense under 20 on the shot clock.
Maybe that late lunch got to Haywood, huh?
Nice tip away by Sangaila in the low post.
He has to be careful. Look at how long he had to be on that bench because of those two fouls in that first half. Young man has to learn to stay out of foul trouble.
37-30 Deeks. Murray. Sangaila takes it to the basket and lays it in.
How about that first step for a big guy?
And a great first step for his first basket.
And Haywood has been asking to come out. He's very tired. Sangaila did the smart thing, driving right by him. Wake goes back into that matchup zone.
Okulaja baseline, double, out to Cota. Lang zips it inside to Okulaja. Adi with 8. And an official's timeout with 14:48 left in the game. Deeks by 7.
We're going to see a lot of good action down on the inside, moving without the ball. Haywood have really moved his feet the start of the second half. And there's that quick low post drop step move against Vitoretta, who was playing behind him. And the only thing that he could do there is get some help from the outside. O'Kelly was slow coming down.
The 4th assist for Ed Cota, 700 in his spectacular North Carolina career. Only Kenny Smith and Phil Ford have had more assists in Tar Heel history.
Good hard overhand pass that time by Vitoretta.
Well, despite some struggles offensively, the Deeks still have a 7-point lead and the ball. Amonette is into the game. O'Kelly pops out as Cota chases him. Inside, Sangaila, no good. Gets his own miss, is fouled by Bursticker.
Sangaila has a lot of good low post moves. He's very quick to the basket. and nobody blocked him out on the miss.
A young man, Billy, with a wealth of international experience.
Yeah, I really like this fellow. I think he's going to be one of the premier players in the league in another year.
Sangaila on the Lithuanian junior national team, played in the European Championships on their 22 and under club.
Young man played in the Hoop Summit game, which is the top 12 international junior players against the top 12 high school players in America. Will be played again this year at the Final Four. The international team put a whipping on the American kids last year, led by a kid named Dirk Nowitzki, who went right from that game to play now in the NBA. He wasn't quite ready for that, but is an outstanding talent. Basketball being played well from all over the world.
41-32 Wake Forest.
There's that zone again for Wake. Matching up on the baseline. There should be some outside jumpers available here for North Carolina.
Okulaja backs to the corner. Shot clock under 10.
There's the jumper.
And Okulaja buries it. His third three-pointer of the game.
Nice, smart play by Okulaja. Realized nothing available on the baseline. Offset up higher to get the spot for the jump shot, and it was there.
Diggs succeeding their point total against Carolina and Winston-Salem by 1, and they've got the lead in the ball.
I think Wake should keep the ball down into Sangaila down low. There he is again.
Beat his man. He whipped Lang to stuff it.
I think they ought to go to that young man. He's only got 2 fouls on him now. He's causing them all kinds of problems. They don't have anybody quick enough to handle him in the low post.
Boy, without Haywood to worry about, that would be a great play.
Exactly.
43-35 Deeks.
Wake was relying too much on the outside jump shot. When you've got a guy in the low post who can score, get him the ball.
Okulaja to Capel.
Cotto never looks for that shot right away on the pass. You notice that?
And a takeaway on the baseline. And again, the clock was draining. Deeks come up with the ball.
Cotto could have made that possession easy. He had the jump shot on the catch.
Haywood ready to come in.
There's Sangaila again on the low post.
And they pushed him again. It's Lang with the foul.
He's just eating them alive down inside.
Oh, Wake doing a smart thing here to go to this young man.
Absolutely. Getting that ball down inside. Taking away relying on that perimeter jump shot. Now, things will change a little bit with Haywood coming into the game on him. And what I think he'd be smart to do here is to step out to the top of the key, make Haywood play him at about 15, 18 feet, and then drive on by him. Don't try to post up low against Haywood.
And an illegal screen by Sangaila.
And there's that cheap third foul, something that Dave Odom did not want to see. Look at that grimace on his face. Dave's probably saying, well, how about that out-of-bounds play that Carolina ran and no call on that one?
Loose ball picked up by O'Kelly. Here come the Deeks. Nice pass. Shoemaker fouled on his way to the basket. And if it's on Haywood, it's his third. It is.
Good hustle by Haywood, though, getting back down. He was kind of in a sleepwalk in the first half, but he's come out with some pep here in the second. Got back on defense there, not in time.
The announcers for this game selected and compensated by Raycom and Jefferson Pilot Sports, and the use of this broadcast without their express permission is prohibited.
Nicky Arinzi would have been a key player for Wake in a game like this with the experience he had last year. You see him over there on the bench with that shoulder harness, had his second shoulder operation to make sure he has the strength in the right as well as the left. Will be a real addition to this team next year.
Shoemaker goes 1 for 2, 44-35.
If you're North Carolina, get that ball back down inside to Haywood. There he is.
Triple team. Into Lang. Curry open up top. Capel off his leg, still loose, diving for it, Okulaja, and a timeout for Carolina.
Second time today that Okulaja has gone to the floor with the ball to save a possession for North Carolina.
A 20-second timeout for the Tar Heels. Another look at our Nations Bank ACC Salute to Excellence question. North Carolina assistant Phil Ford, Clemson assistant Darren Tillis. 2 of the 3 current ACC assistant coaches who have been selected in the first round of the NBA draft. We asked about the third, and the answer, Duke's Johnny Dawkins, selected by San Antonio in the first round of the '86 NBA draft. He played in the Final Four in Dallas and then was drafted by San Antonio.
In Dallas, beating Kansas and then losing to Louisville in the
great championship.
Second time a freshman was the most outstanding player.
44-35
in the Final Four.
Capel for 3.
There he is with an outside shot.
First field goal for Capel. 44-38.
Now let's see if this young Wake Forest team will not play to its pattern, which has been letting the second half get away from them against North Carolina. So that third foul was big against Sengaya. He was playing so well on the offensive end of the floor. Now Dave Odom has to sit him, try to keep him down there for a while.
7 to shoot. Hicks drops it, picks it up. Shoemaker with 2 on the clock. Air ball.
Fast break opportunity. Look at the big men getting down on the break. Lang and Haywood really busted out on the break for big guys.
And we've got a push on Wake Forest. Going to be on Amonette. Timeout on the floor. Dave Odom's Deeks led by 9. It's down to 6. 44-38 Wake Forest. And don't forget Saturday, a day-night doubleheader for you. At 1:30, it's number 5 Maryland against Florida State. And the night game at 8 p.m., the Duke-Carolina showdown, as Duke bids to become the 8th team in ACC history. They go through the league unbeaten and the first team to do it at 16-0 since expansion.
Some of those teams, although they went through the regular season undefeated, got hit come ACC tournament time.
Yeah, 2 Carolina teams, 84 and 87, lost in the ACC tournament. Inside, Vitaretta saves it. Oh, he got the ball. Called timeout.
Nice play by Vitaretta, because you don't want to throw that ball back under the other team's basket. So he got the 20-second timeout. You see, North Carolina trying to run that same out-of-bounds play. Not quite the same when they're not pushing down inside. Vitaretta looks for the pass, doesn't have it, and then calls the time.
You're watching kind of an audio signal to the referee.
See, he's wanting to make the pass first. He did a little bit of everything there. He even cushioned his fall.
Shooting in the second half. Wake just 4 of 13 Tar Heels as they try to mount this comeback. 7 of 11.
North Carolina picking up full court, not guarding the man again, taking the ball out of bounds.
And a tip away by Lang.
You really have to set a good solid screen here to get O'Kelly the ball. See, there's no solid screen, so there's nothing available.
Sangaila does cut back and get it. But it was not without some consternation. 44-38 Wake.
Sangaila again wanting to operate in that low post with his quickness.
Travel. Trying to get a 4th foul on Haywood.
Not quite patient enough. But I still think that, Bob, that if he would set up against Haywood now at the top of the key, facing the basket, he'd be a lot better off than trying to power moving down in low.
Wake's turned it over 7 times.
Little timing situation here to add to the clock.
Michael Kitts, the referee, thought Dave Odom was talking to him. Dave was trying to talk to Sangaila.
Well, 10:31 showing. It's going to be 10:39. 8 seconds to be added. And Dave would like to say, hey, wait a second, I've got the lead. Let's take 8 off. Well, let's compromise with 4. Do anything you can as a coach.
Here come the Tar Heels. Capel guarded by Dawson.
Wake in that matchup. And keep that ball away from Haywood down low.
Lang, nice maneuver inside. Comes up with the ball in the corner.
Great offensive rebounding in this last 5 or 6 minutes by North Carolina.
Lang,
Left hand.
with the left hand indeed.
And again, offensive rebounding, setting the tone. Wake Forest just not able to get the ball back. As we said, North Carolina, the #2 rebounding team in the nation, taking advantage of it here.
Hicks missing the three. Cotto comes out of there with it.
And you can feel the energy of the crowd starting to get to this ball club.
Tar Heels can cut it to 1 with a three-pointer. They go inside to Haywood for the slam.
Dave Odom may be thinking right here, he had to use that quick 20 when Vetteretta was going out of bounds. He cannot afford to let North Carolina get a run started against him.
O'Kelly, bounce out to Dawson.
Wake not taking advantage of getting Sungaya at the top of the key. Now he gets punched in the stomach by Okulaja.
Yeah, on the way by.
Yep. Referee never saw it.
Ball was kicked and a reset of the shot clock.
As he ran by, he got Sungaya right in the stomach.
Dawson to play it in. Vetteretta to Hicks. Dawson's floater, no good. Another rebound for the Tar Heels, completely dominating both backboards now.
Great job by Lang.
7 straight, looking for more, and a foul on Wake.
Lang's leading the cheers. He's leading the rebounding. He made the great left-handed shot. Really hustling up and down the floor.
Oh, you really like this?
Yes, I do. He shows a lot of leadership. You obviously like his physical skills, but I think he is going to be a great one.
Carolina looking to tie. Three-pointer gives them the lead. Lang giving to Cotto. Kelly fighting through the screen. Underneath, Lang with the stuff, and the game is tied.
Now, how about what Lang did there? Went over and set the solid screen. Created a little pick and roll. Then went down inside, ducked under to get the ball back inside. He's just a freshman, but that was a very smart sequence.
O'Kelly uses the screen and buries a big three. Man, ice water in his veins.
Cotto was right there with perfect defense against the shot.
Haywood.
Wake now doubling down well on Haywood. It'll force North Carolina to make a jump shot.
Cotto backs out. Capel from the corner, no good. Haywood pushed off. That's his 4th. Robert O'Kelly with a huge 3 as the Digs take a 3-point lead. Billy, a great two-man game here.
It really was, and Lang originally set a solid screen and then pick and rolled and then ducked down in the inside. Cotto found him with the pass. Really a good play by the freshman. Look at that good spin move. He held Sungaya out, couldn't get to it.
That tied the game at 44. Then O'Kelly comes down and drains a major league 3 to put the Digs back in front.
Well, you couldn't fault Cotto defensively on that 3 either, because O'Kelly really hit it with a man right in his face, and Haywood back in the ball game with the foul trouble that he has.
Sitting on 4. Hicks.
That was a break.
Takes the jumper and missed it.
That pass was not intended for Hicks. He ended up with a good shot.
Capel down the lane to Lang. He puts it in again.
Running and hustling. You know, we talked at the top of the show about Wake Forest and their own destiny situation. Here we'll see the spin move, but look, here comes Lang. Good catch. Finishes off on the inside. Wake Forest right now on the RPI is 53rd. And I was looking up on that RPI statistics. The top 50 teams 15 of those teams are going to be in an automatic seed situation. That leaves 35 at-large picks basically for 34 spots, okay? At 53, you are really in a precarious situation. As we said, if Wake Forest would have a bust through here, that would probably put them in. If they don't, that NC State game really comes critical for both of those teams.
Yeah, you really got to, you get in the mid-50s, you got to start breaking out the rosary beads.
Absolutely. Wake Forest at 53, NC State at 56, Georgia Tech at 51. But I think they've played themselves kind of out of there with some of those bad losses. And Florida State at 48, but they're not playing well right now. There's Wake scoring inside.
Josh Shoemaker kind of angled it up with the left hand and dropped it in, 49-47.
Dave Odom will take all the baskets you can get from people other than O'Kelly and Vittoretta.
Okulaja to Cota. Still 7 minutes and 10 seconds left in this game. Lang.
No place to go.
And a turnover.
Didn't get rid of the ball quickly enough.
O'Kelly steps and a blocking foul on Cota.
Now that's going to be a foul on Cota, and rightfully so. But before that, O'Kelly palmed the ball. You know, he carried the ball in his hands, a move that you just cannot defend.
It's technically a double dribble.
It really is.
One dribble ends, another begins.
Not that Cota doesn't do it himself, but that certainly was an advantage created by that palm violation. North Carolina in the zone, but not packed in as they were earlier. They've got to be aware where O'Kelly is here. And Dawson as well has got range on his jump shot.
Shoemaker gives to O'Kelly.
Will he shoot it from half court?
Gonna have to do something fast. Shot clock's down to 5. O'Kelly, no good. Haywood rebound. Carolina down 2. Attacking with Capel. Looking for Lang.
Now here's a little pick and roll for Haywood. Hicks does a nice job picking him up.
Here they keep up with the steal. And that pass measure. And it's going to be a blocking foul on O'Kelly.
Tried to get underneath and anticipate where Cota was going on that play.
Carolina moves into the bonus.
And we talked about that three-point shooting. Wake Forest with 12 for 21 threes when they had that big lead in Winston-Salem last year. Ended up in that game 18 for 43. That 43 still standing is a number of attempts for threes in the ACC. They're kind of relying on that now down the stretch.
And Cota hits the front end. And will get the bonus. 49-48, Wake Forest. Excellent free throw shooter, 86%.
Cota, as a freshman and sophomore, only took 18 threes. Now, you got to remember what he was surrounded with on those ball clubs as far as other guys could score. So far as a junior, he's 32 for 76. So when in need, he came up with the outside shot. Still not a prolific shooter, but at least has it in his arsenal now.
Tied at 49, 6 to play. Dawson for 3.
Didn't have his legs in that shot.
Shoemaker, though, hustles to come up with the offensive rebound. Cota got him. They're going to call it on Ed. His third as O'Kelly went slashing by.
Yep. Cota had to come out to stop the shot. O'Kelly knew that, so just blew right on by it.
16 fouls on North Carolina.
Had that little dump down inside with the left hand. He's doing a lot of good things coming to the ball here to help Wake Forest out. Won't show up statistically, but it's important for his team. Making himself available on the catch.
O'Kelly. Inside, Vittoretta. Haywood with the block. Despite the 4 fouls, played the great D.
Vittoretta probably should have gone right to the basket on that. When he hesitated, he was beat.
Kicked by Vittoretta. Carolina with a new 35.
You notice right here, when he makes the move and he's in good position, he has to go right on to the basket. Tries to fade away against the bigger man and gets it knocked away.
Maybe sensing Lang didn't want to go to his left, kind of turned it back inside, but
he'd have been smart, even if he'd have taken a bad shot on the layup, to draw the foul and not worry about trying to shoot the fadeaway jumper.
Here's Lang with a hook, and O'Kelly with a rebound. Each looking to go back in front.
When are we going to see Sangalia back in the ballgame? Huh? They're down inside the four-minute mark. They've got to get him in there.
Got 3 fouls for him this late. That's pretty good. Vidoretta controls it, misses it.
Huge miss for Wake Forest.
And a foul to boot.
Huge miss.
Point blanker.
Well, sometimes, although when you're playing against shot blockers, you get intimidated. This is a nice play by Dawson to find an open man. Left-handed shot. Can't put it away.
The foul on Shoemaker, and Sangaila will come in at this juncture. First sticker for Haywood.
Now you know what that's all about, trying to just go ahead and keep Haywood on that bench, save him for that last 2 minutes.
But the Deeks had success with Sangaila with Haywood on the bench.
And now's the time to go back to him down in the low post as opposed to working out high.
Cota to shoot 1 and 1. Brendan with 4 fouls. Cota ready with the second attempt. Carolina by 2.
And let's see the defense they're calling out. Go back to the zone.
A 1-3-1 set for the Deeks. Well, they go to Sangaila, but it's broken up.
He didn't come to meet the ball.
Cota outside. Okulaja fakes, drives, puts it up and in.
Good play by Okulaja. Recognized somebody charging at him, just blew by.
4 minutes to go.
Now you can see they're giving O'Kelly no room from the outside, no matter how far away from the basket he is.
Cross court to Dawson. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Vidoretta fouled by Lang. And the Deeks will move into the bonus.
A big break for Wake Forest right there, because Carolina had to play a pretty good half-court defensive set.
And the shot clock was down to 5.
But it really is important for defensive players to understand where that clock is. We always talk about the offensive guy, particularly the guy with the ball understanding the clock. But if you're a defender as well, and you figure, hey, that clock becomes your 6th man when it gets down under inside 5 seconds, let him take the bad shot.
Yeah, really, inside 10, because then the offense, moves into that panic mode. First sticker out. Haywood back in now for the Heels with 3:38 left. Vidoretta, after scoring 10 in the first half, this got his first point.
Short.
Oh, but it went in.
Looked short, but did go in anyway.
53-51 Tar Heels. With Billy Packer, Bob Rathman back at Chapel Hill. Tar Heels by 2. Billy, you talked about the importance of this game for Wake Forest, and this is what the committee will be looking at this week.
Absolutely, and one of the things that is really going to hurt both Wake and North Carolina State, and Florida State, and Georgia Tech teams that are saying, hey, give me a shot, the fact that they really have not had anything that's impressive at all outside the conference. Matter of fact, in most cases, it's been very unimpressive. So despite the fact that the Atlantic Coast Conference is the 2nd highest rated league in the country, I think the committee is going to have to look at it as a very top-heavy situation.
There was a big defensive play by Vidoretta. Can Wake Forest cash in?
I kind of wonder why that pass was thrown in the first place.
Hicks. O'Kelly. And Cota right in his shirt. O'Kelly's going to try to take him one-on-one. Long bomb. Short. Rebound Capel.
And Cota that time right in his face again. Did a good job holding up his hand without coming down with a chop. I thought that O'Kelly was going to take him with the dribble.
I did too.
Yeah. I think it'd been a wiser play.
Okulaja pressured by Eminette. And Cota works on the freshman Hicks. Hicks knocks the ball away.
Twice in a row, Wake Forest has gotten a turnover. Now O'Kelly down here strapping on his shoe. If they're going to go man-to-man again, let's see if O'Kelly can get that solid screen out top and try to rub off Cota.
Sangaila at the high post. Here's O'Kelly. Okulaja in a switch.
Switch has been made. He's got the man he'd want to take on the dribble.
9-8. Here's O'Kelly. Gets the screen. Goes in on Haywood. The lane.
Oh! I don't know why Cota didn't switch back on that one. I mean, he had plenty of time knowing that Wake Forest was going to hold it for O'Kelly to take the shot.
Tied at 53.
Haywood's got to get active again. Even though he has 4 fouls on him, he's got to want this ball.
Cota picks up his dribble. Shot clock at 10. Capel looking. Whips it underneath the Lang. Dumps to Haywood for the jam.
Boy, Lang has been outstanding, hasn't he?
Shooting and passing.
He was going for the shot himself and realized that the double team had taken place. Made the good pass.
Eminette on the wing. Under a minute to go in the game. Deeks not looking at the goal yet. Now they go inside, and Sangaila is fouled by Capel, I believe.
Kind of surprised Dave Odom doesn't come back with Dawson to give them another wing shooter. The way they're setting up their offense now with O'Kelly or Hicks to drive, that would mean that they could drive, kick back out, and I think that Dawson would be the man they'd want to hit as opposed to Eminette.
Darius Sangaila to shoot 2 with 47.7 seconds left. I'll check it. It's a 1-and-1. Nothing but pipe. 7 for Sangaila.
Kind of interesting. Most big men from Europe are good free throw shooters.
And this kid is that.
Yeah.
78%. He's hit 44 of his last 49.
Little ice water on those two, right in.
55 all. 47.7 left as the Deeks take a 20-second timeout. Don't forget ACC basketball this weekend on your Raycom Sports and Jefferson Pilot Sports stations. Our coverage at 1:30 Saturday of the Maryland-Florida State game, and then Duke and North Carolina here at Chapel Hill beginning at 8 o'clock. The Blue Devils, of course, won the first game. William Avery, 21 points and 5 assists, but Ed Cota was great at Cameron as well. The most intense rivalry in college basketball resumes Saturday at 8 p.m. Check the Raycom Jefferson Pilot Sports Station in your area. Duke won it by 12 in Durham. Here it's all tied at 55. Carolina ball, Billy, with 47-7. They've got Lang, Haywood underneath. And the way things have been going, you would expect them to go back down there again.
Oh, I would think so. And if you're Wake Forest, you have to really be conscious of when they go down inside and you double down to worry about that other big man as well, dropping your guards back in. The reverse dribble by.
Three-pointer for Okulaja.
Charlottesville, Virginia.
To Chapel Hill. He hit the game winner Saturday at Virginia, puts them up 3. Now the Deeks with the basketball, 58-55.
I'm really surprised that Wake Forest is taking their time here because it's going to put them in a position they have to take the 3.
Hicks lost it, got it back. Sangaila, Eminette. They look for O'Kelly. He puts it up and got fouled. He'll shoot 3 with 13 seconds left.
Last night, I saw one of the real top-notch, and not that they're that good at teams, There's Phil Ford, and he'll remember the guy I'm talking about, a guy named Roy Williams last night. Kansas, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State hits a three to put themselves in a situation where they figure they're at least going in another overtime. Kansas, with just 2 seconds left on the clock, goes up to half court. Then they get the ball inbounds. And what happens? Oklahoma State fouls the guy shooting the three.
And O'Kelly misses the first of three. The best the Deacs can do here is cut it to 1.
Came up short, but they wouldn't be here if this guy hadn't played the way he's had so far. Short on one, long on another. You've got the guy you want shooting. Now, if you're Wake Forest, you got to consider just getting that ball back on a miss.
Timeout at Chapel Hill. We'll return after these messages from the Atlantic Coast Conference. Ademola Okulaja not missed a game at Chapel Hill. When he hit his game winner at Charlottesville Saturday, it marked the first time in his career that he had hit a game-winning shot. How about back-to-back games for your senior year?
It looks that way. Now, if you're Wake, you could say, try to make this shot. You still are in a situation where you've got a one-possession game if you can turn them over. But O'Kelly sure missed an opportunity there with three. You've got your key scorer on the line.
It's this one. And a foul on Vitoretta.
So it's Lang that goes on the line here.
Well, we talked about Okulaja's game winner in Charlottesville. Let's go back to Saturday and watch it. Cota with the drive, and Okulaja with nothing but net.
Good follow through on that shot. He was left wide open. You couldn't fault Virginia on the play. They probably were, just as we were anticipating. North Carolina wanted to go inside. He offset and got him going. It was Haywood. I thought it was Lang going to the line.
A 1-and-1 for Brendan. And he missed it. Tipped out to Haywood. And
great effort by Lang.
Foul on Wake. Don Hicks.
Now, two things that does. Put North Carolina back on the line, but this time it puts him on the line with 2 shots.
That's the 10th team foul on Wake Forest.
Boy, Lang really extended himself on this rebound. Shot short. Watch Lang. Just great effort on his part to tap it back outside.
And Haywood makes this one. He can clinch it pretty much right here. There's still 11 seconds left, but it would make it a 4-point game. Missed it. Deacs have a chance to tie.
And O'Kelly's the guy who wants the ball. I think you've been smarter to give him that ball immediately and take off. This gives North Carolina a chance to set up on the defensive end.
A full timeout for Wake Forest. We'll be back after these words. 59-56 Carolina with 9.1 left. Wake Forest ball. Our MVP is Robert O'Kelly, 21 to lead the Deacs tonight. Okulaja hitting the huge three that broke the tie and put Carolina in front. Our MVP for the Tar Heels. Bill Guthridge, during the break, put Ronald Curry into the game, specifically for his defensive prowess. Cota's out there as well. You know the Deacs are going to be looking for O'Kelly.
Well, I'm going to go back to my theory, and I'd do it every single time. I would never let a team have an opportunity to shoot a three to tie or to beat me. I'd foul.
That's their only chance.
I'd make Wake Forest, or any other team for that matter, have to do a multiplicity of things in order to beat me, as opposed to just one thing, which is to come down and take a three.
And here comes O'Kelly. Guarded by Curry. The shot is good!
Give up.
With 2.9. That ties it at 59.
I do not understand why coaches take the chance of allowing a guy to shoot the only way that you don't win the ball game, and they may still win the game. This is exactly the situation I said last night. I think there were 2 seconds to go in the Kansas-Oklahoma State game. And when you let him get that far down, now you take the chance, if you defend him, to foul him shooting the three. The time to foul him is when he's dribbling the ball up the court. Put him on the line for two. He has to make the first, miss the second. Your team has to grab the rebound. Your team then has to shoot again, and it has to make that shot.
And O'Kelly, you know he's looking to redeem himself after missing those free throws.
Absolutely. Now let's see if North Carolina does. Let's see if they were watching Roy Williams, the former North Carolina assistant coach, who last night, instead of going long with the pass, threw the ball to half court. He took his tallest player and threw the ball right to half court. Called an immediate timeout, which gave him about 1.7 seconds to go. Then threw the ball cross court with his tallest player once again to Ryan Robertson, who had himself an opportunity to take a dribble and go to shoot the three-point shot, of which he got fouled.
As you noticed, Carolina has its 22nd timeout left, and that's all. Tied at 59 on the O'Kelly three.
You do not have time now, if you're North Carolina, put the ball in Coder's hands and let him dribble. He can't dribble up the court and get something started in 2.9 seconds. So you've got to make a pass at least to half court.
Look at the ACC standings. If you're thinking tournament, think Duke 1, Maryland 2, and North Carolina 3. They'll match up that way. Those positions are set. Duke will play Thursday night at 9. Maryland Friday afternoon at 2. North Carolina Friday night at 7.
You know, we haven't mentioned Maryland. I thought they were sensational against Georgia Tech the other day.
18 steals.
And, you know, when you start talking about Maryland, everybody knows where they are. But, you know, Maryland's got a good shot at a #1 seed. Right now, they're fourth on the RPI. They're third in the Sagarin. They've got outstanding wins outside the conference. Certainly that loss to Kentucky was nothing that you have to worry about. And they still have a shot at a #1 seed.
Here come the Heels. Okulaja running the baseline. Baseball in the midcourt. Timeout.
And I'm not saying that North Carolina, Dean Smith didn't have that in the arsenal for Roy Williams and Bill Guthrie. And they used one of the taller men to throw the ball in bounds. Now, if they follow suit by Kansas, they throw the ball cross court on a solid screen to Okulaja, and he takes the shot.
59-59. Again, a reminder this weekend, Maryland, Florida State. Our coverage at 1:30 Saturday. Check your local listings. And then join us at 8 p.m. for the Duke-Carolina game here at the Smith Center in Chapel Hill.
And if you're Wake Forest, the one thing you do not want to take any chance here is all you're doing is playing defense with your feet. You should not use your hands in any way, shape, or form on this inbounds pass, except the guy that's guarding the man throwing the ball in bounds. I'm surprised they're not putting a taller man on Okulaja.
On he looks. Lob in. Coda's got it. Coda baseline floater. Overtime.
Pretty good execution. Got the shot they wanted.
Timeout at Chapel Hill. 5 minutes on the clock.
ACC basketball has been brought to you by Dodge, by Pepsi, by Nations Bank, by Food Lion, by Buick, and by Bud Light.
Getting ready for overtime at Chapel Hill. The Tar Heels had the last shot of the game.
Well, they did, and they executed just as Kansas did last night. Cross-court pass with a solid screen. Coda got what he wanted. Pretty good job by Shoemaker. He does not try to foul. Coda gets that leaner, which he's usually pretty good at. That's a pretty good execution there by North Carolina. It just didn't go in.
You have to go back early in the season to find the last overtime games. Wake overtime, game 1 against Illinois at Madison Square Garden.
Surprisingly, the last 2 times these 2 teams faced each other in overtime was in the ACC tournament. 95, Wake Forest won 82-80 overtime for the championship. In 94, North Carolina won a semifinal overtime game, 86-84.
Carolina's second overtime game this year. They beat UNCC on this floor December 12th in overtime.
Remember, Haywood has 4 fouls.
Kota short, but Okulaja ends up with the ball.
Another offensive rebound for North Carolina. So kept them in the game down the wire.
Tied at 59. Okulaja looking to go backdoor, cut off by M&F.
Same maneuver tried between Okulaja and Kota. Kelly didn't bite on it.
Capel around the screen with the right-hander. Carolina by 2. Robert O'Kelly, who tied the game with a three-pointer. Vidoretta will take it.
Good looking rotation on the shot, just not there.
Tar Heels by 2.
They're looking to get that ball down inside to Haywood. He's got to be careful with those 4 fouls.
Capel will take it and miss it. Vidoretta rebound.
And there's a few times Wake Forest been able to get a one-shot opportunity for North Carolina.
And Godlin looking for the ball underneath, trying to set a screen for O'Kelly. Kelly pass to Vidoretta, tip. That one wide, really off the mark. Okulaja took, he saved it in the corner. Now the Deacs have it.
Now that's all Okulaja could do. He couldn't throw it back inbounds because it was coming right to the Wake players, so he just let it right there hanging on the side.
It will be a full timeout with 3:02 left in OT. The only time that Wake has won in the Smith Center, 1995. The Deacs made it happen with familiar names, Randolph Childress and Tim Duncan. The two stars combined for 51 points in the win. Wake Forest 79 and Carolina 70. Only their second win in Chapel Hill since 1982. They're down 2 with 3:02 left in overtime tonight.
I think a real key here for North Carolina is Haywood not getting that 5th foul.
And he got his 4th foul, Bill, with almost 8 minutes to go in regulation.
And I say that not so much from the offensive end, but from the defensive end. Even though Lang is the guy on Sangilla, when Haywood's out of there, Sangilla is much more active taking the ball to the basket. So I think it's really important for North Carolina to keep him in the game.
Deacs have 10 seconds on the shot clock.
No screen for O'Kelly coming on this out-of-bounds play. Looks like Hicks is going to come over the top.
Vidoretta hands it off to O'Kelly. Nearly knocked him over. O'Kelly drives. Tip no. Rebound Okulaja.
Vidoretta misjudged the miss on that particular play. Would have had an easy put-in. Wake has gotten away from that matchup zone, staying straight man-to-man here with Vidoretta down inside with Haywood.
Okulaja, 4 rebounds in overtime. And a wild pass intercepted. Sangilla takes it and dunks it.
Well, Kota tried to challenge his dribble and then realized he didn't have the steal, so let him alone for the dunk.
Tied at 61.
North Carolina turned the ball over a lot in the first half. Did a much better job in the second half, but that was a costly one there.
Turnovers magnified in overtime, especially when they cost you points.
Well, Ed Kota has 8 turnovers in this game.
Capel zips it. Good catch by Kota, and a foul on O'Kelly. Oh, that was a bullet pass.
Pretty good catch.
4th foul on O'Kelly.
Now you have 2 coaches in a very tough situation with the key players with 4 fouls on it. You know, Kota, who obviously is an outstanding player, but I've been really upset with some of the comments saying, well, I got to wait to see if I'm a lottery pick. You know, if he's a lottery pick, then the NBA is really in tough shape because he certainly needs more polish. He needs to get himself to be a totally all-around guard that becomes a scoring threat with the outside shot, something he really has to work on. Obviously defense as well. But it's something that has to be very distracting when a guy of his caliber starts thinking about being ready to be a lottery pick in the NBA.
Plenty of time for that after the season is over. 63-61. Hicks to O'Kelly. He beats Cota into the lane, but ran into Haywood.
Probably should have tried to shoot that shot against Haywood to pick up a foul.
Sangaila, tough shot, missed it. Vinoretta clears it. O'Kelly for three. Got it! And the Deeks have the lead.
What a good pass out.
64-63, Wake Forest with 1:18 left.
Well, when O'Kelly squared up at the basket, it's like Trajan Langdon. You know, you just can't give those two that shot.
Cota dribble drive.
Good crossover by Ed Cota.
And if it's on O'Kelly, it is. He's gone.
Well, that was set up by a terrific crossover dribble by Ed Cota.
With 1:09 left. O'Kelly to the bench with 27 points.
And that's going to bring Dawson probably back in the game because they're going to have to, they're looking at Murray, but they're going to have to come with somebody that can shoot. Because that leaves nobody on the floor from the outside that really wants the shot. There's Sangaila with a good drive inside. Ball's tapped back out. Good job by Vinoretta. And who does it go to? Squaring up for that jump shot for O'Kelly.
But that will be his last basket tonight.
Now they do come with Murray. And you have to say, then where would any scoring come for Wake Forest? You've got Hicks, Murray, and Amonette on the outside. Really not a go-to guy there.
2 shots for Cota and a perfect 6 for 6 tonight. Oh, and short with it.
Now Dave Odom screaming about rebounding. And you remember what Lang did on the missed shot previously.
Cota now looking to tie. And that one pops out. The Deeks have it with 1:05 left. 64-63 Wake Forest.
Now who takes the shot for Wake Forest here?
Gotta go to Sangaila.
That's tough to go down inside. There's not really a threat from the outside on the floor.
Vinoretta to Hicks. Inside it goes to Sangaila. 7. Amonette will take a 3. He missed it. Tipno and a foul on Sangaila of Wake Forest.
That's why I really felt Dawson was the guy to be on the offensive end of the floor because they didn't have anybody on the perimeter that could take that shot.
64-63 Deeks, but Carolina with an opportunity at the line. Boy, Amonette had a great look. No question about the foul. And Haywood to shoot 2.
Amonette is 14 for 53, 25% three-point shooter.
And came into the game having missed his last 6.
Dawson, 42 for 107, right at 39%. Got to play the percentages at this time of the game.
Haywood ties it. Carolina looking to take the lead on this free throw.
And that shot clock, what you've got a 1.9 seconds difference.
Haywood missed it. Rebound. Oh, and a foul. Yes, Capel. He had Murray in a headlock, and Murray will shoot at the other end.
Murray, a 79% free throw shooter. I don't know what Capel was thinking about here. All you're trying to do on this end is to tap it back if you get a chance. You can see no question about the foul. Big break for Wake Forest.
Irvin Murray, the freshman from Teachey, who won a state 2A championship on this floor last spring, now has a chance to put Wake Forest in front. The first point of the game for Irvin Murray. 65-64 Wake. Missed it.
A little quick on the release, wasn't he?
Deeks by 1. Half a minute to go. Cota.
He wants to keep that ball in his hands.
Tough pass, but Capel saves it. He's in trouble, and a foul coming on the Deeks. Sungaila's 5th.
Now Dave Odom really has to look down that bench. He's really lost all of his offensive strength. With O'Kelly sitting down, Sungaila's going to sit down. That takes away his best inside scorer.
Capel will be going to the line for North Carolina. Let's take a look at our Advance Auto Parts play of the game. This is O'Kelly at the end of regulation. Wake was down 3, and O'Kelly tied it and sent it into overtime.
Capel, an excellent free throw shooter with 86%.
1 of 2 tonight.
You can see Dave Odom coming in with some size here because North Carolina's been very effective on missed free throws.
Carolina has missed some free throws here in overtime. Cota 2, Haywood 1. The Tar Heels are still down a point. Tied at 65. Sungaila, O'Kelly have fouled out for the Deeks.
Wake Forest will be able to hold the ball for the last shot. They don't have a lot of offensive weapons out there.
This for the lead. Got it.
There's Capel, good free throw shooter. It's 2 of the biggest ones he's made in his career here at North Carolina. North Carolina goes to the zone.
Hicks. 10 seconds. A three-pointer short. Rebound, Capel, foul on Hicks.
Well, Hicks had a pretty good look. 7 seconds to go, but again, Wake Forest without any offensive firepower left on the floor.
And I just don't understand why Dawson isn't out there.
He had a good look, good rotation, just came up short, and that was for 3. North Carolina in the driver's seat right now.
Timeout, Carolina. We'll be back after this. A 1-point lead for North Carolina, 66-65, 7.1 seconds left in overtime. North Carolina will get some free throws here as they break the huddle. Tar Heels looking to go to 22-7. And Wake Forest again apparently frustrated in Chapel Hill, although not over yet. But Carolina can go a long way in icing it with some success at the foul line.
Well, Capel, who was really solid on those last 2 free throws. There you see O'Kelly over there wanting to know if maybe he can get back into the game somehow. Obviously, that's not going to take place.
I wonder if there's some confusion over the number of fouls.
Well, you get an extra timeout, but you don't get extra fouls. So O'Kelly is out with 5. And we know both teams have been in the bonus for quite some time now. So
Shoemaker.
well, they're not
trying to get in, but I don't think he's going to be allowed to.
We get the dead ball situation here.
I think they tried to put Dawson in and did, and they were going to put Shoemaker back in, but they can't resubstitute till the clock runs.
Exactly. If they've already made that substitution. Now, the reason Dave Odom would like to have Shoemaker from a standpoint of beyond this potentially missed free throw, where he's the better rebounder, he'd like to have Dawson on the offensive end, where you may need the shot. So Dave said, I'm going to send in 6 guys.
Well, he's going to indeed be allowed to put Shoemaker in.
Now, Dawson ought to get right down to the scorer's table, and that's what Dave Odom's telling him right now.
Capel to shoot 2. Carolina up 1.
Boy, did it get silent in here, huh?
9 for Capel. Carolina up 67-65.
And remember, Capel hit the bank shot to start this overtime period as well.
Just to put the Tar Heels up 3.
Now Dawson gets into the game, and Dawson will shoot the 3 for Wake Forest. Probably Hicks on the dribble. You want Dawson to touch this ball for that last chance, and let's see if North Carolina will go for a foul here. Doesn't look like it.
Hicks, Murray with 2 seconds. Ball game.
But he got the 3 off.
The Tar Heels win it in overtime, 68-65. One more look at the final shot as Hicks gives it to Irvin Murray, but his shot sails wide, and the Tar Heels have the victory. For Billy Packer and our entire ACC crew, Bob Rathman, thanking you for joining us. You've been watching exclusive coverage of ACC